What's going on, Paisanos? V here, and today I'm going to be going over on a match I played at the recent locals I went to, Core TCG, went 5-0, and this is one of the matches I played, which was Tri-Brigade Lyrilusc. Bird Up! One of the decks I actually like a lot. This is a very interesting matchup I played. This guy had gotten his invite through Multiple Extravaganza, so this isn't just a random play. This is a guy who knows exactly what he wants to do with the deck and how he wants to make his play. So luckily, the thing about Bird Up is like I feel like the deck is even better if your opponent doesn't ideally know when to Ash or does not ideally know when to stop certain cards. And I feel like that this matchup is really good at punishing your opponent for not knowing or respecting your deck when you're playing Bird Up. Obviously, if you do know what it does, the deck is still a good deck and you still have to play it seriously, but knowledge definitely plays an important factor into this matchup. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit play, and we're going to go ahead and see what's going on right now. We're just doing a quick shuffle. The main thing about Bird Up is if you have Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, there's a 50-50 chance with Bird Up as far as stopping them, getting locked down. Let me explain. If they go into Appaloosa, your Ash doesn't do anything. But if they don't go into Appaloosa, you don't Ash the first card they play. You Ash their Samorg, their Link Monster. And the reason why is because they're relatively open onto that play. Because they have an established board, so they can't really Gamma. They don't really have anything else really to stop you other than like a Call by the Grave. Ash will resolve stopping Samorg, and that's going to put you at a huge advantage in this matchup. So that's something I always want to tell everybody whenever you're looking to play against Bird Up. If you open up with Ash, don't shotgun it, don't stop anything, wait to the end. And if they do bring out Appaloosa, realize that the board is not really as strong. And it's still good. I mean, it's still not that big of a deal. So even the player I played against, you'll see in game 1 he doesn't go Appaloosa, and in game 2 he does. I have the Ash in game 2, but in game 1 I don't have the Ash. But if I did have the Ash, imagine one of the 5 cards in my hands was that, and watch how this differently it would play out. Watch the difference of like the variance he would get. So we're gonna start. I believe he won the dice roll, so he's gonna be able to go first, which is a big deal when playing Bird Up because obviously you want to go first as much as possible if you have the good lucky dice because you want to get your combo on board. Playing going second when you're playing Bird Up definitely puts you at a huge disadvantage. So right now we're just talking over everything, waiting for the time to start. You see the time up here somewhere. So we're just talking about our matchups and whatnot we played. And we're basically just going over everything. I mean, I think I definitely played against a guy before. I know that for a fact. At first I said I didn't know his name because I'm really bad with names. But I did play this guy before. So what we're going to do right now is we're just getting ready. We just got our hands out, waiting for the timer to basically reset. And then we're going to go ahead and go into chill. Once again, he's going to go first. And he's playing Bird Up. And he basically has the combo. He has full combo in hand. It doesn't take much to have full combo in hand when you have Bird Up as well. If you guys ever play the deck, it doesn't take a lot for that deck to really get the board rolling. And he gets it rolling quickly. Because, once again, when you know the deck and you open even a decent hand, you're going to have full combo. So what we're trying to do, basically, we're trying to figure out. Well, I mean, what I'm trying to do, basically, we're just hanging out right now, and the timer just started, so I was trying to mentally, and now looking at my hand, trying to figure out what I have. The first thing I'm looking for mentally is obviously Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, because how big it is in this matchup. Number 1 actually would be Lancia, then Ash, because if you do Lancia, his turn skips. Oh, okay, so I'm going first. All right, so I'm going to go first. He's going to activate Draw and Lockbird, and that's pretty huge. I have Magical Meltdown in hand, which I use for terraforming. So, Draw and Lockbird against me is actually pretty impressive in this matchup. Sometimes, Draw and Lockbird against, I feel like the Shaddoll Invoked match is always 50-50. There's times where I care about it, and there's times I play around it, and I don't care about it. So, I'm going to do his double set pass. I have 3 in hand. He's going to be, actually going to cut my deck and whatnot. Had I went Mechaba early on against Bird Up, it would have been decent, but I don't know. It really depends on the board he would create and when can I respond properly towards it. So, he's going to start off real quickly and activate Fractal in hand. And by the way, he got max value off that draw by hitting it after the terraforming activation. Had I summoned, I had Alistair in hand. Had I summoned an Alistair in hand, or had I activated Magical Meltdown, I would have got a lot more better value. But I didn't. It was a very good draw on Lockbird. So he's going to send Nerval. Nerval's effect is going to be able to activate him any Tri-Brigade monster. He's going to go ahead and add Kit to his hand, which is insane now because now he has 3 Winged Beast in graveyard. So he's obviously, once again, he hasn't even summoned yet, and he's already in line to get full combo. So he's gonna go right off the gate and summon Kit. And, you know, he's going to go banish 2. He's going to go into Tri-Brigade. And this is kind of like the basic line combo you want to go into. It's a very fine line you walk when you're playing bird up. You're just doing one kind of play. So he's going to go ahead and banish 2. And actually, I'm sorry, not going to Kit. He's going to Harpy Conductor, which is a wing piece, which helps him once again goes into the Morgue. I just want you to remember, if I had Ash in hand, how different this game would more than likely be. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and I think he's going to enter a battle phase and he's going to swing. Which is really cool because what he's going to do is he's going to swing with Conductor, who's 19, to my face-down monster, which has a defense of 1800 attack. Now, I could have set Alistair down here, and I could have used Alistair's effect, but I decided to go ahead and set the Arrow, which has 18 offense. Either way, had I set Alistair, I would have been able to get some value off that if I had an Alistair in hand. I'm not sure if I did or didn't. But I wound up setting Neo Shaddoll Ariel, and the reason why is because I have Super Poly. So if he creates his board, my Super Poly is more likely going to be able to break his board. So that's why I decided to go ahead and do that. Once again, he's going to get rid of those 2 and go immediately into a Samorg. I believe he forgets his Kit effect. And if you guys don't know what Kit does, it sends any Tri-Brigade card to the graveyard, which is really good because you can send Rendezvous, which kind of saves your monsters. But I think he forgot about that. To me, it didn't really matter either way. I think I still could have went through it. But right down, once again, we're going to end phase, he's going to Samorg. Had I Ash at Samorg, he would have ended with 2 set face-down cards, 1 in hand, and not been able to lock me. And that's how important Ash is. I really emphasize that point to everybody, because I think a lot of players that play against birds, they see one card like a tank, and they're like, Ash! Or they see like a rescue cat, which is the worst card to Ash, and they go ahead and do that. So I normally wait. You gotta be more patient, and that's the thing I want to really drive home if you guys don't take anything from this video, is the fact that you wait for some more to hit board. At times, they can bring out Appaloosa. Okay, so once again, he has 2 face-down back row, 2 cards in hand, 1, some more up on the board, and obviously I'm locked out to wins. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and activate Magical Meltdown. I'm going to get that Alistair. Once again, we have Super Poly, so we're in a good spot. So he's going to check his back row out. And I'm not sure if the Super Poly was face down. If it was face down, I definitely should have held it. Then again, it kind of baited him to attacking. So I'm going to go ahead and add Alistair to my hand. Once again, there I go, putting my deck up into the extra zone because my deck's considered legal. And I'm not getting Foolish Barrier. I think what I'm thinking is, if he has a Solemn Judgment, I'm in a really bad spot. Solemn Judgment my Ash, I can't obviously activate Super Poly and phase his some more procs. He gets another monster out. I'm in a worse spot than I was before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead Super Poly. I'm going to send Shaddoll Skomata to the graveyard. I'm going to activate Shaddoll Skomata's effect. I'm going to put Dragon up there. I'm going to break his resources down. Once again, there we go with the breaking resources. We're going to break their resources down because we want to put him in the worst situation we possibly can in order to maximize the potential of winning this game. So we're going to send Dragon to the graveyard, and I'm thinking to myself, there's 2 back row. It's a 50-50 chance whatever I hit. I'm going to hit the one away from his deck. It just, I don't know, it was a random selection. And I think it was Called by the Grave was the set card, which it was. He's going to Call by the Grave my Shaddoll Skomata. Once again, not a big deal. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm really fine with that. So he's going to Call by the Grave my Skomata. And now I'm still a little bit worried because, once again, that was Judgment. I lose. But it's not. So I'm going to go ahead and summon Alistair. I'm going to get Invocation in my hand. This is going to be a huge play. So I'm gonna add the Invocation in my hand. My hand is now 4 cards. We're gonna activate that Super Poly. I'm gonna pitch one down to 3 cards, but we're gonna break his lock, and that is insane. So the cool thing about Super Poly is it's not targeting your opponent's material; it's just using your opponent's materials. So I'm just debating what I want to discard. I'm thinking of how I'm gonna get over his board, and what I want to do here is, because my Invoked Rager, which is an insane card, is still so I'm gonna discard Beast, but my Invoked Rage is still a good card, but he can attempt to get over it, so I'm gonna try to figure out how to finagle this play really easily. So I'm gonna get rid of Alistair, I'm gonna get rid of the his Link monster, and I'm gonna go into some more, which obviously can get over his Wind monster, which is the Mario statues. Once again, I also have Invocation in Graveyard. I'm gonna put his monster face down, and then from there I'm gonna debate what I want to do here, what kind of plays, because this is nice and open now. I'm just worried about his back row. That's all I'm worried about. But I'm going to go ahead and activate Invocation, and I'm just debating what I want to banish. I think I banish his Kit. Is that what I banish? Oh, I think he's thinking on my Invocation. I think he's debating on his plays. So, he has a Kit in his grave. Oh, that was Rendezvous actually set. This is a really interesting line of play. So, I'm going to activate Invocation. And what he's going to do is, I think he's looking up the total text of everything, checking out how it works in Meltdown, stuff like that. So we're just, going over everything. And basically, he's going to activate Rendezvous to bring out some monsters on board. And I'm looking to get rid of his Kid in Graveyard and go right into a Rage and try to maximize damage and put him in a really bad spot. So once again, he's looking over all the available avenues of play he has, and I'm basically doing the opposite. I'm looking over how can I maximize, how can I end this game now, because he has a limited amount of resources, which is exactly where we want him. So he's gonna go ahead and activate Tri-Brigade Lyrilusc. I'm gonna double check some text on it just to make sure. It works, it does, just double check the text on the card. He's going to go ahead and bring a bunch of Tri-Brigade cards out, and then he's going to immediately link summon. That's not a big deal for me, because we're still going to be able to get rid of his kit, which is going to allow me to clear his board, so I don't really care as much. It's just a fine line of how do we go about this. Once again, he only has 2 in hand, and it's Tri-Brigade. That Rage staying on board is a big deal, because whenever he summons, I book a moon in. Guess what? Now he's in a bad spot now, because whenever he summons, gets book a moon. The Tri-Brigade does not have that many special summons. He would have to have the Tri-Brigade, the Tri-Brigade monster that allows you to special summon by discarding another Tri-Brigade card, I think it is. He has to have that and a Tri-Brigade monster, which I don't think he has. So that's going to put us in a huge position. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of his kit right now, and I think I'm going to go Purgatrio. I think that's the best line of play. And Invocation goes to graveyard. We have 1 card left in hand, so we're basically playing at a real basic game state, which is totally fine. No big deal. I'm gonna activate Invocation. I'm gonna be able to shuffle Alistair back into my hand. Invocation back in the deck. Here's the crazy thing: had I had Shaddoll Fusion, I would have still had to make the play what I had to make. But with Shaddoll Fusion, I would have been in an insanely good spot right now. Unfortunately, I didn't have Shaddoll Fusion. And that's what I think he was thinking about. He was obviously thinking about that he had to go into a link play, had to get some value. But I also think that he was thinking, if this guy has Shaddoll Fusion, I'm going to be in a really bad spot. And so anyway, he's going to go ahead and link summon away. He's going to use Nerva's effect. Nerva's allowed him to get a Tri-Brigade Fractal in hand, which, once again, I don't care about as much. I'm going to still be able to clear his board. I'm still going to be able to put him back on the clock. I think he lost 1 Nerval, so technically he can add the other guy to his hand. But we still have to see what the whole situation is. So we're just going over all the attack points. I think we're going over Purgatrio's, how much it gains. If you guys don't know, Purgatrio gains 200 attack for every card your opponent controls on the board. So right now my Purgatrio is technically at 27, which is going to be more than enough to clear his board. Obviously, once again, we have a Raging, which I think is a big deal in this matchup. Obviously, Rage is the card. Another reason why you play Super Poly, because you can play Rage and break any kind of bird up board if you have a Super Poly in hand. Super Poly plus Alistair. Super Poly is a little bit harder to get. Alistair's a lot easier to get. But this is yet another reason why. Besides the fact that Rage is insane. You go Rage with Meltdown on board, your opponent can't respond to it. You go Rage and put your Shaddoll monsters face down, which comes up a lot more than I think a lot of people give it credit to. So you can get more value from Rage. So I really do like Rage a lot. I think it's a phenomenal card. My Purgatrio is going to attack into his face down, Wind Barrier statue. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and... and the thing... Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this link. And the thing is, I could have left this Wind Barrier statue up on the board. I could have technically left it even face up. But at the same time, like, anything he puts on board, I just want to clear as fast as possible. Because I know he can link climb and just try to get over it, which he really can. That's definitely a huge issue. So I have 2 Invoked monsters on board. I have an Alistair in hand that he knows about. It's going to be really hard for him to physically get over my board. So I think he can clear 1 Invoked monster if he had the best potential hand, but that's still not going to be enough. And then next turn, I just end the game. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my deck, and he still has now 3 cards in hand. We know at least one of them. And he's looking through his options, and he's going to draw first turn. Let's see what he got here. He's just going over all his options. I think he just scoops it up because he sees the fact that, like, whatever he does, I'm just booking, and that's going to basically end this game for him. I don't know if he had another Winged Beast monster, but he could have brought another guy, another Tri-Brigade monster, and he could have made a board, but I'm not sure if it would have been enough anyway. So I think what he's trying to do is just scoop to save time and move forward. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and show you how, like, easy it is to side. Well, okay, here's the question. What do you side against this matchup? You guys, if you see my deck profile, you know what I have on my side deck. So some cards that are pretty good to side against this matchup obviously is going to be evenly matched. The Bird Up deck has no answers for evenly matched. They really don't. He would have to sign into Solemn Judgment and get Solemn Judgment. And evenly matched against Solemn Judgment, I give up my battle phase, and he pays 4,000 life points for it. That's what we got to look at it. I'm really okay with that. Other cards that are really good, obviously, are going to be Lightning Storm due to the fact that it puts all those guys in attack mode, and it's not amazingly good, but it forces if he doesn't do if he does a combo and he's not able to send Rendezvous to the graveyard. Lightning Storm becomes that much more better of a card, so I think that's a card you also might want to consider. Talents is decent, but I feel like Talents right now isn't as good, and the reason why is because we're more likely going to be going second. Other cards that might be up for consideration could be Nibiru. The problem is he more likely plays around it. So, to be honest with you, I think my side is roughly around double Lightning Storm evenly. Maybe the Harpy's Red Luster if you're a little bit more afraid of his back row. To be honest with you, I'm not. I'm pretty much okay with his, whatever he could push out on his back row. So I'm just looking to play realistically, try to get that evenly match and trying to clear his deck out. Because once again, like I said, unless he has Solemn Judgment, evenly match goes through. And if he has Solemn Judgment, once again, that's okay. A lot of people might be upset about that. I'm really fine with exchanging my one trap card, giving him my battle phase away, and then paying half his life points. And then us actually, once again, utilizing our engine. So in this game, I'm going to be opening Ash Blossom and Joy Spring against him, and you'll see he'll summon a Rescue Cat. I'm not activating it to the Rescue Cat because, one, it could get gammed. Rescue Cat tributes will cost is nothing on the field. If you Ash his Rescue Cat and he has Gamma, you just gave him, you just lost 2 cards now for playing 1 card. It makes no sense. Don't ever do that play. Number 1. Number 2, you save Ash for the end, and if you don't get the end, it's not that big of a deal. And I think a lot of Bird Up players kind of know this, and I think they bank off the fact of your opponent trying to preemptively use Ash incorrectly. So that's why I always still like to hold my Ash anyway. So anyway, he's going to go first. He's going to summon Rescue Cat. Hopefully it's super rare. And he's going to go ahead and activate effect. And once again, I have Ash in hand. I totally have Ash in hand. I immediately tell him, you're good. You're good. No. I'm not trying to lose 2 cards by trying to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Properly. It's just not happening. So anyway, he's going to summon... Oh, Karas is not the name of the guy. I keep messing the guy's name up. He's going to summon Karas, and he's going to summon Kid out. And this is a great start to the Bird Out combo. This is why the deck runs like Rescue Cat. It helps dodge a lot of bad cards like Ash Blossom Joy Spring if you had Gamma in hand, and it lets you plus, and it allows you to go in the engine and by putting buys on board for 1 summon. It's absolutely insane. So he's going to go ahead and go into Lyrilusc, Tri-Brigade Lyrilusc. Is that her name? I always forget the names. Then he's going to use Kid's Effect, which allows him to send any Tri-Brigade monster to the graveyard. He's going to set Nerval's effects and allow him to add a Tri-Brigade card to the graveyard, which is insane. Now he has 4 Beast Wing Beast Warriors, for Tri-Brigade monster effects to proc. He's going to go ahead and use Nerval's effect to add a card to his hand. And the whole time, once again, I have Ash in hand. I'm totally okay with all of this because I have 1 target, Simorgh. Either he goes into Appaloosa, or he lets me get my Ash off. I mean, he lets me get my Ash off, which is going to put him in the worst position possible. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm sitting down watching. I'm literally analyzing constantly the game state. Want to see what a tiger's eyes look like? Let me show you real quickly. Boom. Look at that. That's a hungry tiger right there. Looking for its prey. So anyway, I'm analyzing the game state, and I'm trying to figure out. And I already know my hand's really good. And I'll show you guys. You guys will see like what this deck can do by breaking down your opponent's resources, how amazing this deck is. And by 1 card, actually. But anyway, so he's going to go ahead. I think he's going into Link 3, which I mean, yells to me that he's going to go ahead and try to... is that the Link 3? I can't see it. It's a little bit too dark. I think that's an Apple right there for 2. No, that's the Link 3. He's going to go ahead and bring out Karas. And once again, this is same signaling. I got Appaloosa. But at this point, it was something I could have done. Which is no big deal. So he's going to go ahead and make more plays. And this is, if you had Lancia, like, he'd basically pass his turn on this. I really do think he would have to pass his turn. A cool thing about this is, even though this interaction allows him to go to Appaloosa for 2, it's not that big of a deal due to the fact that if he was to send Rendezvous, if you look over at his Simorgh, it doesn't protect whatever it brings out, which is a pretty big deal for us. So he's going to go ahead and activate Simorgh's effect. Once again, I have Ash in hand. You got to hold the Ash. You can't even signal that I'm getting rid of Ash. I can't even go, let me see what I got here. Like, he will Appaloosa. Appaloosa on 2 is still a big deal. He's going to go ahead and bring out the, Barra statue of the winds. And once again, he doesn't have many cards in hand. His resources are kind of blown, but he's banking on me not doing much. And that's the way when you play Birds, you have to analyze the game state. You got to analyze it as, I don't have a lot of resources, but if you pass and don't have a good board, my Simorgh's going to allow me to get a negation on board, and then I'm going to subsequently end the game. So I'm going to draw my hand for my turn. 6 in the hand. And That better be a judgment set. So we go standby, we go main phase. On the course, we just say battle phase, and we just wait. Once again, if it's judgment, it's judgment. But it's not. We're going to go ahead and activate evenly match, and it's going to clear his entire board. He's going to save the Samorg, which I think is the right play. I mean, you can't save a barrier statue, I guess. I mean, you can, I guess, but is barrier statue that good? I don't know. It's not a barrier statue Samorg. Given his position, I might have even saved this. I would have saved the Samorg. I mean, I had Alistair. It wouldn't really matter. I would go Alistair. He did. I think his last card in hand was the Ash Boss, which is kind of ironic. I'm gonna link away Alistair into our Artemis, and he's just basically saying, "Do you Shaddoll Infusion me?" And Shaddoll Infusion me, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's gonna happen. Let's wait a minute. Let me. And once again, even though he doesn't have no cards in hand, I'm still trying to do the proper line of play because there's nothing wrong with just always doing the proper line of play. You know, there's nothing wrong with going Macabre, Invocation at Alistair, even though he has no cards in hand. You know, you always mentally want to play around like a Nibiru because that's one of the very few cards that can stop you, kinda. It doesn't really. It stops you for the turn, but doesn't kill you because you just reset resource. So then I'm gonna go ahead and activate Invocation, bring up Mechaba, and then I'm gonna Shaddoll Fusion here. This is pretty much GG at this point. I mean, we're giving our Battle Phase away. He's gonna try to activate his Samorg, and we still have the Ash Blossom in our hand, which is still a huge deal. And once again, he's just like, yep, that's a pretty good cardboard you got there. Like I said, I think keeping Barrier Statue would have been a little bit better, but then he was also worried about Hassel Poly. It's always 50-50. So I'm gonna Shaddoll Fusion, and I'm debating what I'm bringing out. Eventually, I'm gonna bring out a Windage, so start locking his board. We don't have to worry about his monster on board. I'm gonna send a Squamata, and then I think I send an Aerial as well at this point, just to limit the amount of options he has in Graveyard with his Tri-Brigade monsters. Unfortunately, we couldn't Aerial first turn due to the fact that we open it in hand. But like in this game state, you want to Aerial him now in case he does draw a Tri-Brigade monster. Unless it's Fractal, he's going to be in a really bad spot, bringing out not many cards, and that's going to put us in an amazing situation just to lock this game out. So I'm going to banish 2 of his Link monsters. Obviously, I think it's always best to banish the Link monsters, as well as a Tri-Brigade kit. I don't think it really matters a lot, but I just like doing that, personally speaking. He has one only beast in Graveyard, that's it. Window at the end phase, if he does activate his Samorg, is going to banish it because it negates and banish, and I think you have to win it here, right? Like, I'm almost positive you have to. Even though he knows I'm more likely going to stop it, I think you still have to. Anyway, I'm going to send Hedgehog and to add more card value in my hand, and then I'm going to add a Dragon in my hand because against this Tri-Brigade matchup, there's not many cards they can set that could put him in a good position that we care about. So I'm going to add Dragon in my hand so I could keep my Alistair. So end phase, he's going to go ahead and activate his guy, and I'm just going to Mechaba banish it, negate and banish. And once again, I think he had to do that play. I'm not sure if anything else he could have done. He could have saved it, I guess, summon a monster and try to link up. Anyway, he draws the link 1, and I show him my hand. I show him my Ash Blossom Joy Spring, my Phantasm, and my Alistair. It was a really good hand, a really good game, but that's basically how you play against Bird Up. You go Seal Poly, and when you side, you try to get to that evenly match. We have a really good Bird Up matchup in general. I think the Bird Up matchup is really favored for us in general because it's just a matter of breaking down the resources. If we can't, we're in a bad spot, but we have so many cards. I'm looking at my deck right now. Obviously, we have Ash Blossom for the end phase if they activate some more, which you hold. I already explained that a million times. We have Lancia, which is stuns them for the turn, so then we get to go. We have Phantasm, which is going to allow us to see Ash Blossom and Lancia, or Sewer Poly, which is another card we have, which is going to allow us to go ahead and link away their stuff. So I think our game 1 is insane. As far as game 2, there's definitely some cards I'm really excited about. To talk about, like Evenly Match, which obviously you saw just wins us the game. There's some other side deck choices I'll talk about in future videos. Another card I also still like is still Lightning Storm. So, let's see if we go wide a little bit. I just want to go to his established board and see what he has here. Excuse me. I keep getting the hiccups and burping. Anyone else does that? No? Okay. I'm just weird. Okay. So, Lightning Storm against his board. Where is it? I'm trying to figure out where was it when I Lightning Stormed them. Okay, right here. Lightning Storm against his board right now would be huge. And in this game, that's the thing about it. You Lightning Storm, you Ash him. You put him in a really weird and awkward position, in which if you Lightning Storm his board, he's in a bad spot. Unless he's obviously, once again, if they sent Rendezvous to the graveyard. As you can see, he has 3 Link monsters, and if he didn't protect any of them, we get the Lightning Storm him. Also, if he opted to go Appaloosa, which he did, he doesn't really get the chance to protect his monsters as well. So Lightning Storm is really huge in this kind of play. And something I think a lot of players look over because they know about Rendezvous, they know how strong it is. But if it's that what he's basically saying to me is, you're not gonna Ash me, but I am weaker against this thing. And that's the kind of give and give with Bird Up. They're not weak against X, but they're weak against Y. Nibiru's a decent card to play against Bird Up, but I feel like most Bird Up players know when to play around Nibiru. Obviously, I think they're more lax about it game 1, but in game 2, they will do like what he did, which is to go to Appaloosa to play around Nibiru. So, I mean, that's something that also that a lot of Bird Up players do. But yeah, no, guys, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Listen, if you're looking to see more amazing videos like this, or if you're looking to watch me on live stream, go ahead and click the links down below. Twitch.tv YGO_Paisano. Check me out. I live stream as much as possible, at least like 5 to 6 days a week, in which we play this exact deck against other decks in the meta. And you know, in between games, I'll give you guys my thought process. We work on the rulings. We try to tighten up our gameplay as best as possible, because I feel like the better you know your rulings for this with Invoked Shaddolls, the better of a player you get. The more you can realize how to abuse Magical Meltdown, as well as other cards, the better you can take advantage on the game state that your opponent is in. So I really like that a lot. I really like the idea of, you know, playing remote duel locals, and that's what I like about remote duel locals. Like, you got regular locals 1 day a week, but remote duel locals is 7 days a week. Sometimes you can do multiple times, and you can play this deck, and you can practice with it. And the better you know your plays with this deck, I'm telling you right now, you're barely gonna ever drop any games, if any, for the best deck in the format, which is Shaddoll Invoked. It's your boy Veen. You Paisanos have a great day.